Welcome back to DHN. Let's talk crypto. I want to let you know why Aave has just caught my attention now. It's not because of the $6.6 billion in total value locked across 5 networks and 11 different markets. No, it's because of the stablecoin narrative, which I have been on top of since the beginning of the year. And it's because the next stage in utility for this market, it's going to go through stablecoins. And Aave's founder, is in agreement with that. He says stablecoin adoption could lead to massive DeFi growth. Now, we're going to start with this article, but in this video, I'm going to kind of walk you through why I'm always dropping Aave Easter eggs whenever we bring up stories about Brazil. So, this discussion took place at Starkware Sessions 2023, guys, which is an event I now have to look up because this is the second story of the week where we get an announcement from this event. It's where Visa discussed their plans to incorporate USDC and Ethereum, large value transactions, so forth and so on. But they're having a fireside chat, the Aave founder, and they're talking about how DeFi would be significantly cheaper than traditional trade finance, and it's mainly because of stablecoins. In a quote, he explained that you have all of this visibility and you can actually quantify risk more precisely, which should mean that you're operating in an environment where it should be cheaper for you because risks are more known. What he's essentially getting to is the fact that when you use a decentralized exchange or a decentralized DeFi platform, a lot of your information is present before you make your trade or transaction and then afterwards, and even some of them during the transaction. So it's a very transparent environment. The introduction of stablecoins would allow everyday people who've never experienced it to get in a lot easier. Now, he also gives us information on certain types of stablecoins that may perform better, and he highlights the problem with the space currently. He says the current issue is that there's not enough value in the ecosystem, that you have less backing in decentralized stablecoins compared to the centralized ones or your BUSD, USDC, Tether, things like that. And I think that's the problem that we have at the moment. So he's basically highlighting the fact that there's not enough DeFi, decentralized funding for these stable coins that exist on these, less lesser known ecosystems. He's really just lining up with the direction of the market, and it makes sense. He also goes into discussing how over collateralized stablecoins are a lot more safer. So when I read that, I immediately thought about Cardano's recent listing, their DJET stablecoin, which is over collateralized with Cardano, Bitcoin, and various other stablecoins, I believe. And in addition, Aave also has a stablecoin in development, guys, GHO. Now, I did some digging about this. It was first announced in the summer of last year, early summertime. So we're talking about April ish. Where we stand right now, though, everything is still in development. And I was looking at a recent development update. This is from November of 2022, guys. And the process, they're looking to simply provide a proper means of funding. So they want to introduce this stablecoin to the market, but they don't want to have any issues with securities violations and things like that. And they talk more about it here, guys. They state, based on what we've learned, we are working internally to define the most appropriate way to fund significant protocol developments and specifically how to fund GHO development. We believe that the retroactive funding model works well only for development that returns measurable value to the DAO. So basically, we're still in the early stages of their stablecoin, but with the timing of everything, by the time this stablecoin hits the market, it's going to be in a moment where stablecoins are probably a lot closer to commercialization. So this is going to benefit them tremendously. Now, for those who are, interested in the numbers, for the numbers guys out here, I remember watching Aave go absolutely insane in the last bull run. Okay, you can see here we maxed out. All-time high was about five, no, seven, 707, ladies and gentlemen. Right now we're sitting at $86. Okay. Ave's got a Ave's got a lot going on, simply. Now, we've been talking about Aave. Let's figure out what it is. Now, if you would like a separate video where I dive just into the project itself, how it works, its mechanics, of course, let me know down in the comments. But simply put, Aave is a decentralized, non-custodial liquidity market protocol. They provide liquidity. People can participate as a supplier or borrower from the liquidity. And if you stake Aave tokens, you add security to that entire network and you can get rewards from that as well. So it's a pretty simple setup. It's if I could compare it to something popular in the space, it would be on-demand liquidity. Mhm. Yep, that's exactly what this is, on demand liquidity. Now, let me show you some of the relationships that Aave has put together in the market. They have some connections with Cosmos. They've been deployed on the EVMOS. That's going to basically broaden their reach, massive interoperability with that one. And then we also have their relationships with Polygon. You can see back in May of last year, launching an open source platform for social networks. And then more recently, or I guess ahead of us, we have the Aave V3 mainnet launch on Ethereum. This is pretty much going to increase scalability, functionality, and it'll allow for them to connect to even more networks. So that's a couple of their, technical mechanical relationships. Let me show you why it initially caught my attention though. JP Morgan executes first DeFi trade on a public blockchain. You want to know which public blockchain contributed to that? There were two, as a matter of fact. The trade was executed on Ethereum Layer 2 network, Polygon, and it used a modified version of the Aave protocol smart contract code. The Monetary Authority of Singapore, who also participated in this program, said that a live cross currency transaction was conducted involving tokenized Singaporean dollars and Japanese yen deposits, along with a simulated exercise of buying and selling tokenized government bonds. And they're using Aave's smart contract code. Hmm. Again, why it caught my attention. But wait, it gets even deeper. And I really want you to focus in on this. Aave to move forward in Brazil's Central Bank Innovation Challenge. Now, Brazil, we know it's one of those BRICS nations. They are currently working with their allies to develop an entirely different payment system from the one that we're familiar with. So when I see things like this, and Aave is one of the few that popped up. There's only one other, Stellar Lumens. We'll check that out in a second. But Aave was selected as part of this central bank digital currency program, the digital real or real digital. And the thing about Brazil's CBDC is that it is the most DeFi oriented iteration of CBDCs. Like they have a staking platform. They have a staking program that they plan to incorporate in their CBDC. It's going to be interoperable with all types of DeFi applications and meta banks and other fintechs. Like they're really building that thing out. It seems like a crypto to me. It really does. And then this is the official announcement from March 3rd. Now, when we go down here, we'll see Aave, Banco Santander, Brazil, couple other names, and then this one here, Bitcoin Market. That one is actually Mercado Bitcoin Market. And if you rock with Stellar Lumens, they partnered with XLM in order to help them provide a proof of concept for the Real Challenge, the Lift Real Challenge. So things are, man, they're really heating up. They're really heating up. And Aave is going to be one of those projects in the discussion by the end of the decade, especially when it comes to payments, guys. Now, I do want to leave you with one more thing here, just to keep the focus on Brazil. We're reading this from the Papers. I love that name. High adoption rate of real time payments in India and Brazil. This article basically illustrates that there has been a change when it comes to digital payments versus fiat payments. Of course, all of this was kicked off by the pandemic, but let me read this description to you. CEO at AstroPay talks about the fast adoption rate of real-time payments in two of the most important BRIC countries, Brazil and India, underlying the benefits of accessing financial services to be faster and more secure. So, again, it just goes into the metrics of how things have changed, mainly due to the pandemic. It was already a present issue of people not having access to traditional payment systems. So, the positioning of Aave and other projects in Brazil, it's very strategic. It's very strategic. Now, this piece here, they talk about another player we were just discussing a moment ago, Visa and MasterCard. Under smoother cross border digital payments, to resolve these issues, some wallet schemes have merged to allow greater access to smooth cross border transactions. VIPPS in Norway and MobilePay in Denmark have merged to expand their cross border transaction capacity. In addition, they have an agreement with Visa, which is expanding international transaction acceptance. Yet, this will only benefit 18 million people, so much more needs to be done on a wider scale. So, we have the big payment players in the region. The main issue, and this was also highlighted by Visa CEO and their head of crypto in the video we did yesterday, the traditional systems in place, they're not fast enough. Blockchain is, guys. That's why we're seeing this. That's why the market is shifting the way it is shifting towards the era of utility. But that's all I got for this one. If you're interested in some more crypto news, you can check out our video from yesterday right here. Also, check out the links in the description. Get your DHN crypto journal, hardware wallet, all of those crypto goodies right down there for you. As always, I'm Wade Teamer. I'll see you in the next one.